How many of you guys are excited to be here this week in Traverse City? I'm super excited as well, guys. And for those of you guys that don't know me, like Jeff said, my name is Justin Ford, and I've been a part of Jeff's world, Jeff's organization for the last 11 years. I've been a part of Glover U now for 5 years. This is actually 5 years ago. I came here to Traverse City, and I was telling my wife, Joy, when we drove in, I'm like, wow, it was 5 years ago at our first retreat here in Traverse City. And so I've now been with Glover U for 5 years, and it has been an absolutely incredible ride. You guys are in store for some absolutely incredible stuff this week, and I'm super excited to be able to kick off the retreat. For those of you guys that don't know me, I've been in the real estate industry now for, let me see if I can use this clicker right. If we can get the slides on the screen. I've been in the real estate industry now for 19 years. Got into the industry when I was 12 years old. Just kidding. Some people don't realize I'm 41. I still haven't grown a beard yet. I remember 12-year-olds in middle school, full hairy, beard and everything. I'm 41 and still haven't gotten to that point yet. So I don't think it's ever going to happen. But I've been in the industry for 19 years. This is all I know at 22 years old. Got into the mortgage business and got going. And I've been actually selling real estate as a licensed real estate agent for the last 11 years. And I actually started on Jeff's team back in 2013 as a licensed real estate agent. So I've been selling real estate, and I'm on the ground with many of you, just like you, every day, going out and selling real estate, taking listings, and enduring the ups and downs of this business. It's been incredible for the last 11 years. Like Jeff said, I sold 100 homes my first year in the business, which some people think, how is that possible? Well, when you're hungry, you're motivated, and you have a system to follow, anything's possible. Was his top producer of the year and rookie of the year, was the first one to ever do it on Jeff's team. Was a member of his ALC board, and my best year in real estate was back in 2020, sold 125 homes and 31 million in volume. So I've sold close to 1,000 homes in my career, over 200 million in career volume. I'm a coach and speaker, as I mentioned, with Glover U. I also lead the prospecting boot camp here at Glover U, and I've had the opportunity and the privilege to train thousands of real estate agents, many of you in the room, all over North America the last 5 years. Again, still on the ground with you. On average, I take 7 to 10 listings a month. Team leader of 15 agents locally here in Michigan, 200 agents in my extended team, and I've got some of them in the room. Where are you guys at? Yeah, want to acknowledge them. And actually, I want to acknowledge all of you for being here, which is absolutely incredible because you took a chance on us to be here. But I always like to put someone on the spot if they're here and they're a part of my family. So my sister, Jan, is in the crowd. She just became a real estate agent. So give it up for my sister, Jan, who's here. She told me not to do that, but what big brother wouldn't do that to their little sister, right? But again, so I'm also an author of a book called Unleashed. I'm married to the most beautiful woman in the world, Miss Joy Ford. Yep. That's my family. We have 4 kids and 2 grandkids. Yep, you can call me Grandpa Justin. That's my daughter there in the middle, holding our brand new granddaughter. My son there, holding my grandson, and my son-in-law there to the left. We are blessed. And the reason I share all that with you is not to, put me on a pedestal or anything like that, but just to share with you some of the amazing things that this industry has afforded me to do. And some of you guys might be here today. You've been in the industry for a while, or some of you guys are just getting started and you're wondering, hey, did I make the right choice? Or, what's it going to be? And, is this really for me? One thing Jeff told me back when I first joined his team, because I almost quit the first week I was on his team, because he told me I had to make phone calls and I didn't really want to do that. But here's what Jeff told me. He said, Justin, this industry will create opportunities for you that you wouldn't believe. That if you just become great at selling real estate, you become successful at selling real estate, opportunities and doors will open for you. And it's afforded me to be here today. And so I don't take it lightly when I get asked to be on the stage and to be able to open up a conference like this. And so Jeff, thank you so much. Taylor, Kate, Kathy, thank you for the opportunity to be here, okay? But what are we going to talk about today? We got some great stuff to talk about, and we're going to go through the Live Unreal formula. Jeff talked about that. For those of you guys that have been here and you've been in the, been coming. I know many of you have come. Some of you guys have been here 9 times. We hear the Live Unreal formula every time we come, but we're in a different place than when we heard it before. So 6 months ago, we were in Phoenix, and we heard Jeff share the Live Unreal formula. Many of us have heard other people along the way, Kate, several others share the Live Unreal formula. And even for me, it hits different every single time that I hear it. Because we're all in a different place in our business and in our life, and things that we want to accomplish and things that we want to achieve. But before we get into that, Jeff touched on this. We saw the opening video. I want to talk about the state of the market. We know that over the last 1.5 to 2 years, our industry has changed. Interest rates are high, and guess what, guys? I'm not Nostradamus when it comes to financial stuff, but I have to believe they're not going back to 2% again. They're probably not going back to 3% again. Maybe not even 4%, at least for a long time. And I think many of us have started to see things pick up this year because buyers and sellers realize that this is the market. This is the market. And I remember when I got into the mortgage business back in 2005, and for anybody that was around back then, like the best interest rate you could get was like 6.25%. And then when they went below 5, into the 5s, it was like, oh my gosh, everybody was fired up. And then, geez, to be able to get interest rates down as low as they went, once they went back up, everybody panicked and thought, it's over. And really, when you look at the last 30 years of interest rates, the average interest rate over the last 30 years is about 7%. However, we know that has shaken up our industry a little bit, and a lot of agents have actually left the business because it's not as easy as it was a couple of years ago. Next, we heard about it, and we're going to hear about it. The NAR settlement. This is here, this is real, and you know what? I believe that's one of the reasons why each one of you decided to be here this week and invest your time and your money to be here so that we can be prepared and not just survive the changes, but thrive through the changes. How many of you guys are ready to thrive? Woo! Give yourselves a hand for making the investment to be here this week, honestly. And like I just said, that's caused over 100,000. That's a lot. 100,000 agents have left the business over the last couple of years. And you know what? That might sound a little scary. There's a thing that we say here at Glover U. It's a Gloverism, right? What we do, say what we do, determines our success, not the market. It's not the market, guys. It's not the changes. It's not the NAR settlement. It's not the interest rate. I spoke in Toledo on one of our tour stops about a month ago. And as I was sharing that ism, this sweet little old lady who was sitting right in the front row, she raised her hand. She said, "Can I say something?" I said, "Absolutely." She stood up and she said, "My name is so-and-so and I'm 94 years old this week. I've been in the business for 45 years. And she said, "What you just said, Justin, is so true because I remember back in the 80s when the average interest rate was 19% for 5 years. And she said a lot of real estate agents left the business. And she said, what I did is I figured out a way to be successful through the changes. And I became the top agent in my town for 5 years because I knew that it wasn't the market that determined my success. It was what I did." And so, you know what that means for us, guys? It actually means that this is a great opportunity for us all. Because as real estate agents are getting out of the business, guess what people still need to do? Buy and sell a home. So what does that mean? More opportunities for us. How many of you guys want more listings? Yep. Raise your hand. How many of you guys want to work with more buyers? Raise your hand. Well, guess what? Well, more listings. Raise your hand. Woo! We are in the right place, guys. We got a lot of great stuff that we're going to talk about this week. So, some of you might be saying, What's Justin gonna do this time? So for those of you guys that have been around for a while, 2 years ago on this stage, I actually brought a jail cell and a toilet on this stage. And everybody was like, what the heck is going on? And I'm not gonna get too much into that. I'll reference it in my talk, but 2022 on stage, we talked about breaking free. We talked about breaking free and breaking through the limitations that we have, right? The limiting beliefs, which we all have, the things that are holding us back to living our most unreal life. We talked about the keys, right? The keys, a key unlocks things. And sometimes we're locked in a mindset, we're locked in fear, we're locked in discouragement, we're locked in a situation, maybe we're locked in an addiction, maybe we're locked in resentment or bitterness or unforgiveness. But keys open up the door for us to break free. And I shared how Kate Simon has been a key in my life. Jeff Glover has been a key in my life. We talked about that in 2022. And then in 2023, in January of 2023 at our summit in Orlando, we talked about 1% better every day. That we don't have to go out and become who we want to be overnight because it's not going to happen. We can't go out and build the big business that we want overnight. It's not going to happen. And what happens is we get discouraged when we don't see results fast enough. And we talked about how if we choose to get 1% better every day, that by the end of the year, we're 37% better than we were when we started. That we can't minimize the little things that we do every day, like Kathy said, finding a role play partner. Role playing and writing out scripts, I'm just gonna be flat out, it sucks, guys. It really does, and that's why most people don't do it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how you feel. What matters is where you want to go. And if you got to do some things that suck along the way, then guess what? We got to suck it up, buttercup, and get it done, right? So make sure that you take into consideration and really act on what Kathy said. Let's get out there and let's get role play partners. God bless you. And then last year on this stage, I talked about who's your who. Who's your who? And we talked about who is going to be that person that you look to that can help lead you and guide you and hold you accountable to get to where you ultimately want. And what we're going to talk about today is we want to get to that unreal life. We talked about Michael Jordan. His who was Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson helped Michael Jordan win 6 championships. But then it was like, was it just Michael Jordan? Wasn't he just super talented? Well, then what happened is Phil Jackson then became the coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. And then all of a sudden, I think Kobe won 5 championships. But he didn't have any championships before Phil Jackson, and guess what? Neither did Michael Jordan. But when a who shows up, somebody that's maybe been where you're trying to go or has a plan or a blueprint or a way for you to get to what you want, that's a who. Kate has been a who in my life. Jeff has been a who in my life. Now Kathy, who's one of my coaches, is a who in my life. Why? Because I need a who, we need a who to get to where we want to go. And so how are we going to tie that all together? Well, this year, guys, we're going to talk about that it's time to go all in. It's time to go all in. It's time to stop trying and getting discouraged and throwing in the towel. It's time to stop, giving it 50%. It's time to stop getting out there and maybe struggling along the way and just quitting or never really seeing the results. How many of you guys really want to live your unreal life? Raise your hand, right? How many of you guys really want to experience life to the fullest? Because guess what? We only live one life. And I heard a saying recently and it really hit me. But if you live it right, one is all you need. If you live it right, one is all you need. And so what does it mean to go all in? Showing a lot of determination and a willingness to take a big risk in order to achieve something. Not just a risk, but a big risk. Many of you took a big risk to be here today. But it's not just in taking a big risk, it's making a decision that I'm going all in and I'm fully committed. I'm fully committed to become the person that I need to be. I'm fully committed to do the things that I need to do in order to live my unreal life. And everything, like Jeff said, that we've set up for this 3.5 days is to help each one of us get there. But it all starts with a decision to go all in. Some of you that have never been here before haven't probably known what to expect. So you came here ready to learn, ready for something. Those of you that have been here, maybe you know what to expect, but again, every conference that we do is different than the most recent one. I want everybody right now, okay? I want you to write down on your paper. Matter of fact, turn to page 22 in your workbook, okay? Because we're going to do the Live Unreal formula. But I want you to write down, and don't write it because in the middle of the page we're going to need it, but write it somewhere in your notebook, all in. All in. And maybe you're not ready to make the decision to go all in right at this moment, but it's my prayer and hope that by the time that I'm done speaking with you, that you're ready to make the decision to go all in. Showing a lot of determination and a willingness to take a big risk in order to achieve something, okay? I just want you to write down all in, okay? Oh, page 33. Oh, so 32 is where it's a blank page, but did I say 22? I'm sorry. I'm like, why is everybody flipping the pages? It's pretty easy, right? Sorry. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, I promise. Page 32, thank you for that. But guys, we're going to start with the Unreal formula. The Unreal formula. And if you've seen it before, you know the drill. And if you haven't, this is an interactive exercise where we ask you to use that page 32, not 22. So if you're still looking for 22, it's not there. 32. And we're going to write this out. And I remember the first time I heard this, it really, really spoke to me. And then the next time I heard it, it really, really spoke to me. And then even preparing to share it with you again today, it really spoke to me because I'm at a different place today than I was 5 years ago when I first heard it. And so what we're going to do, on the bottom of your page, I want you to draw out this box, just at the bottom like this, and I want you to write in it money, okay? Money. Because money, and I kind of laugh when I talk to real estate agents or you're in one of those rooms where everybody's like, why did you get into real estate? Oh, just because I love showing homes and, I love people and all of that. That's good, and I'm sure you really mean those things because we all got in the business to make money, honestly. Who's selling real estate and making no money and loves being here? Nobody, right? Because you can only go so long without making money until you're like, nah, it's not working for me. As a matter of fact, did you know that 90% of real estate agents are out of the business in their first 2 years? 90. I think those 90% people are watching Selling Sunset and HGTV, and they just thought like, hey, this is going to be a breeze. Nope. But we're going to talk about today really what it takes to get to our most unreal life, because I've never seen anybody live their best life or their most unreal life without money. And it's not that we work for money, because money in and of itself really has no value. It's what the money affords us to do and accomplish and for us to live that we're all really after. And yes, there's many amazing things of why we got into real estate, but I know money is a big factor, so we're going to start with that today. And so when it comes to money, to the right of this box, I want you to write in your needs and wants. Your needs and wants. I just want you to put that right next to that. Because everybody in the room has a certain amount of money that you need to make every month in order for you to make it. And then we all have needs, right? We all have needs and we all have wants. Wants are the things that, I want to send my kid, to college. I want to send my kid to a private school. I want to remodel my house. I want to buy a new car. I want to take a vacation. Needs and wants, okay? And so what I want you to do is, there might be another clean sheet of paper somewhere in there I can look, because I'm going to come back to this, so don't worry. I think, let me see here. What do we got? You can use page 35. okay? We're gonna flip between 32 and 35. And I call this the needs, wants, activity. Just so we understand how to get there. Because money, we have the opportunity to make a lot of money in this industry. And I know many people in the room are. Some people are like, I can't wait to do that. But we have the opportunity to make a lot of money. And I think that's one of the reasons why our industry is kind of under attack. Because, I don't know, some people don't like us making money. But we have the opportunity to make some really good money. So I'm gonna use some basic numbers as the example. So I want you to just put over here like A, okay? On page 35. So A is just our monthly cost of living, okay? And this would be, we're gonna just use some examples. I know everybody's is gonna be a little bit different, but let's just use these numbers as an example. So let's just say your average monthly cost of living is $7,500 a month. This is your mortgage, this is your car, this is everything that it costs for you to just meet your obligations every month, okay? B, I want you to list your outside income. Outside income, and for those of you guys that have ever seen me on a board, sometimes I scribble and don't spell things right. So there's usually the one or two, like I got an email from one of my clients the other day. She said, oh, you spelt this word wrong. I'm like, thanks, I'm not perfect. So I know there's one or two of you in the crowd, so if you see me spell something wrong, feel free to tell me after, okay? Outside income. So let's just say you have an outside income of $1,500 a month. This is like rental property income. This could be, Social Security if you get Social Security. It could be a pension. It could be child support. Whatever extra income that you have coming in, could be, passive, rev share, whatever. Outside income of $1,500, we're not gonna count that. So what we're gonna do here is we're going to subtract, okay? We're gonna subtract the 7,500, the 1,500 from the 7,500, and what does that give us? That gives us 6,000 a month, okay? So we're not gonna count that, that we need 7,500, we're gonna say that we need 6,000, okay? Now, if we have goals, let's just say we have some goals that we wanna meet. We wanna buy maybe a new property, we wanna buy a new car, whatever it may be, we're gonna use the number of goals monthly cost. So goals monthly, let's just say is 10,000, okay? 10,000 a month. Some of you guys got some big goals, right? So let's just say between your $6,000 a month in your income plus what you need to break even for your cost, but then your income, you want an extra $10,000. See, sometimes I told you I messed this up, right? Extra expenses. So on E, what we're gonna do is we're gonna say technically we need 6,000 a month plus 10,000 a month equals 16,000. So our expenses of living, because we have $1,500 a month coming in income, we don't really need 7,500, we need 6. And if we add that plus the 10,000 of things that we want, we're at 16,000 a month, okay? So if we know that we need to make $16,000 a month, then what we need to next do is we need to figure out, okay, what's my average commission? Okay, so F, what is my average commission? Okay. And again, we're just using some basic numbers because we know everybody's is either higher or lower. Let's just say your average commission is $4,000 a month. Okay, $4,000 a month. So if your average commission is $4,000 a month and you need to hit $16,000 a month to cover your expenses and your wants, how many homes do we need to sell? 4 homes, okay? So letter G is we need to sell 4 units per month, okay? This is important to do, and every year in November, December, we do an annual business plan here at Glover U. It's something that you're able to register for when it comes out on a webinar that Jeff does with his team, and we can all be a part of that. And then just recently, we did our second half business plan of the year because we're now in the second half. It is so important to know every month where you need to be. Because if you know where you need to be and you're not on track to get there, you need to make some adjustments. And if you know that you're on track or you're even outpacing the month, the goal is not to pull back. I think that's sometimes, something that we do as real estate agents. We're having a great month or a great quarter, and we're like, well, I can just kind of pull back a little bit. Or pull back. If you're ahead and you want to take a trip or you want to do something, you can definitely do that, but we definitely don't want to stop just because we had a good month or we're having a good quarter, okay? And so then H is how many units do we actually need to write in order to get to 4 a month? And so I know that the ratios are different for all of us, but again, for simplicity, we're going to use a 20% fallout number. And so if we have a 20% fallout, then what we need to do is we actually need to write 5 units. 5 units. And so for my team leaders and my brokers in the room, rather than asking a new agent that joins your team or your brokerage, how much money do you want to make next year? Well, shoot, they probably want to make $1 million, right? We know that's not going to happen. This is a great exercise to be able to say, what is your monthly expenses and what are your wants, and then build out a plan of how they can get there. So this is the same thing that we're doing right here, is we are building out a plan of how we're going to get there, okay? So if we know how much money we need to make, and I really want this to be focused on the second half of the year. Second half of the year, okay? I can't ask you what your goals, what you want to make in 2024, because we're already halfway over. But if I say, how much money do you want to make or need to make based on this this exercise in the second half of this year? Because we want everyone in the room to leave here on Thursday knowing exactly what you need to do when you get home. Exactly how many units you need to write, exactly how many units you need to sell, no questions asked, because we can't get to our unreal life, guys, until we get the money right. And I know what it feels like to kind of be stuck in that money phase. It's like, sometimes it's like feast or famine. Sometimes it's do or die. Sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, right? So the next thing I want you to write is transactions. Transactions. So we kind of just went through that a little bit because we need to know how many transactions I need to do through the end of the year in order to get where I need to go. And again, we do that through a business plan. And if you didn't create a business plan for the second half of the year, it's not too late. Obviously, June is behind us. July is, here, and we're already into July. And so we can still do our business plan because we still need to have a plan of where we're going, okay? So transactions is how we're going to get there. And this week, you're going to hear all about it. You're going to hear different people on the stage talk about how to take more listings. You're going to have breakouts. I highly recommend, don't be the agent that gets out of here and goes back to your room or goes to have a drink or goes out to do something. Get to a breakout, because these breakouts are dynamic. These breakouts are going to give you things that you can take away and go implement into your business right away. Everything that we're going to hear this week is going to help us to do more of this, okay? And we all are here to do more of these, okay? I remember when I first got into real estate, and if you've heard my story before, my wife and I were really struggling financially. When the mortgage business collapsed back in 2008, we had made our first 6 figures when we got into the mortgage business. We thought we were, living it up. We were having a great life, bought a house, young family, 2 new cars, and then everything crashed. We lost our house to foreclosure, went through bankruptcy, lost everything. I mean, it was super, super difficult. And We had to get on food stamps, and it was rough. And when I got into real estate as an agent, I made a decision that was never going to happen again because I knew how difficult it was on me, my wife, our marriage, our family. And so I knew that I had to make a decision back in 2013 that I was going all in. And what does it look like to go all in? You don't have a plan B. You don't have a backup plan. You're not trying to, we'll see if this works, I'll give it a shot. Nope. All in means I'm all in. I'm fully committed, and I'm gonna do whatever it takes to be successful. Like, there's no other option. Yes, it's gonna be hard. Yes, there's gonna be tough days. Yes, you're gonna have setbacks. Yes, it's gonna be days where you just don't feel like it and you wanna quit. But when you're all in, it's okay to feel those things, but you know that you're not going to quit. You know that you're not gonna throw in the towel. You know that you're not going to go, look for plan B, because when you made a decision to go all in, you burned all the other ships. And when I did that back in 2013, I had no other option, right? If you've ever been on food stamps, you know what I'm talking about, right? Maybe you're struggling right now. I know that feeling. And you know what? Thank God for food stamps, but it's not a place that you want to live forever. And so when I went all in and I joined Jeff's team, Jeff told me, Justin, how many homes do you want to sell your first year? I said 100. He could have said, you're crazy. That's not possible. He supported me. He created a plan for me by doing this business plan. And he said, all right, we're going to get you there. Okay. So this week, I want you to understand that everything we're going to be talking about is going to get you there. Okay. Now, I heard it said like this, and I want you to write this down. Money only motivates you until you have it. Money only motivates you until you have it. And I never understood that because I was all in going after money because I needed to, provide for my family. I needed to, buy us a house. I wanted to buy us a new car after they took our car, all of those things. And so I was in the pursuit of money. And so I also, it wasn't the money, it was, I want you to write this one down next. It's the options. Okay. Or let's say your why. Okay. But we call it options. What is the goal to get to, where you want to go? Like, why do you want to sell the amount of homes you want to sell? Because I'm sure we don't all just want to stay where we are. We have goals. We have things that we want to accomplish. And you can write this down next to options or your why. What are the places that you want to go with your family, with your spouse, with your significant other? What are the places that you want to go? What are the experiences that you want to experience? Can I get the slide? There we go. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? What are the things that you want? I want you to write these down. What are the things that you want? What are the contributions that you want to make? Who are the people that you want to spend time with? What are the investments that you want to make? What vacations do you want to take with your family? What stuff do you want? Again, we're not working for a paycheck. We're working for options. We're working for a bigger why or an option of something that we want to create. And if you see on the screen, I didn't stay on food stamps forever. I didn't stay in the jail cell drinking out of the toilet forever. If you guys heard this story, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody else is looking at me like I'm crazy. Go back and watch the 2022 speech that I did. But because I went all in and I was committed, it's afforded me to create options for my family. I come from a broken home. My parents divorced when I was 2. The only vacation that I took when I was a kid was to the campground. Nothing wrong with that. I'm thankful for that. But I wanted to give my kids an opportunity to experience things that I didn't experience. So when I feel like quitting, I think about them. I dropped out of high school and got, arrested 13 times, acquired 8 misdemeanors and a felony. Like, really jacked my life up for a period of time. I wanted to create a life that my kids never had to experience any of that. And so when I say all in, you're all in for something so much bigger than just a deal or a paycheck. I've been able to take trips with my family all around, the country. We go on a tropical trip every year. I had the opportunity. I'm a big Michigan football fan. Go Blue. Woo! I told my wife I didn't say if, I said when Michigan gets back on their feet and they start winning, I'm going to every Big Ten championship. I'm going to every college football playoff game, and I'm going to the national championship. And so because of the options that we're working for and the transactions we're out there doing and the money that we're making, we're creating a life, or we're creating options that we can do. Went to the Rose Bowl this year with my wife and my son, watched Michigan beat Alabama. Then I took my daughter to the national championship. Got to hang out with the players behind the stage or behind the thing. Down in the left-hand corner, some of you guys met my nephew last year. I was able to fly him and my son. We went out to LA, a couple weeks ago, and my nephew Tyler got baptized at Laguna Beach, right? My kids, both I was able to, put them into private school. And both of them are leaving next month to go to, a college that's going to be paid for, no financial aid, no student aid. I say all that to say this: what are we working for? What are our options? What is our why? Who in your life deserves you to be all in? Who in your life is looking for you to be all in? My kids didn't see the days that I was down and discouraged and depressed, wanting to throw in the towel and quit. But guess what? I saw them. And I knew that if I quit, I'm quitting on them. If I throw in the towel and I don't go all in and I don't create my unreal life, guess what? Then they're missing out on that. But I want to tell you a story. In doing this, in my pursuit of wanting to build success for my family, in the pursuit of wanting to create these options for my family, and I want you guys to write this right here. I want you to take an arrow, kind of like this, bring it down to here, and like this. And if I can get the slide. Sometimes we get caught so in the cycle of chasing this that we neglect certain things in our life. We lose focus of what's really important. Maybe we're there, but we're not present with our families. Maybe we're sacrificing our health because we're just like all in. I got to make it happen. I got to create these options. I want to give my kids a better life. I want to create a better life. I want to be top producer. I want to be number one. And what we're doing is we're actually getting stuck in this like rat race of just chasing. And we're going from options to money and transactions. And you know what I realized, guys? Like I said with that comment, money only motivates you until you have it. I remember calling Kate Simon up 2 years ago. I got the house, I got the car, my kids are in private school, I'm making money, I'm where I always wanted to be, and I was depressed. I'm like, how can this be that I kind of have achieved this goal or this why, and it's no longer fulfilling? And what I realized, and I heard Kate preaching this over and over and over again to me about fulfillment. I'm like, but I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to do this, and I'm supposed to run and sell 100 homes and do this, that, and the other. And in it, I realized I wasn't fulfilled. And she told me, she said, Justin, and I want anybody that might be where I'm talking, or if you ever get there, I want you to write this down. She said, Justin, what's your new why? What's the new bigger thing that you can focus on, but not so much more stuff, but who do you want to become? And what's the life that you really want to create? And who do you want to spend it with? And it really got me to think, and it really caused me to begin transitioning how I looked at life and looking at the areas that were being neglected. And I realized I was stuck just doing this. And so the next thing that we go up here is better or best self. And like Jeff said, it's easy for us to get maybe stuck because we think we know what our best self is. We think we know who we need to become. We think we know, all of those things. And sometimes we get so stuck on that we miss out on maybe who we really want to become, because a lot of times we compare ourselves to other people. I want to be like him. I want to be like her. I want to have what he has. I want to have what she has. I want to say something that hopefully frees some people in the room today. You were designed to live your life the way that it was given to you, and to live it your way. You don't have to compare yourself to other people. You don't have to size yourself up what somebody else is doing. You don't have to be like somebody else to think that you can find fulfillment in that. You just need to go out and build the life that you truly want to live and not worry about what anybody else thinks, okay? Hopefully that speaks to somebody today. Because we can get so caught up in comparison, which is another part of that rat race, that we really never focus on who we really desire to become. Next slide. And so with that said, let me go back real quick. I want to share a quick story with you. My daughter, Tiara, she's getting ready to go to college next month. And we've done things together. We've gone to different events together. We've had a great relationship. But she came to me last year and she said, "Dad, I feel like you've just pushed me to the side. I feel like you're so busy. I feel like you're not present when we're together. I feel like there's really no deep connection that I need." And that really hit me to the core, because all I ever wanted to do was just be better than my dad and provide for my family. I wanted to work hard. I wanted to be a provider, because I think at the core, that's what dads are. I wanted to provide for my family. I wanted to create success for my family. I wanted to create a foundation for them that they could build on so that they could have it better than I had it. And when she shared this with me, it hit me hard. And I realized, I'm like, I only have a year left. I only have a year left until she leaves and goes off to college. And she's not going down the street. She's going to Phoenix, Arizona to go to Grand Canyon University. And I said, I missed it. How did I miss in the pursuit of building all of this that I missed what was really important? And I think sometimes we get so caught up in this, whether it be limiting beliefs, scarcity mindset, whatever it is, that sometimes we sacrifice the things that are really most important to get where we want to go. Our health, our marriage, our kids, different things that really mean stuff. And I was so locked in, and Kate, you've helped me so much with this. I was so locked into the next thing. I got to achieve, I got to accomplish more. And I remember her saying, why? And I really didn't know until recently. And so I began to make some changes in my life to really get to that best self. And so I've got this thing that I want to share with you on the screen. And it's called the Wheel of Life. And this right here, I believe, is going to help each one of us to really try to get an understanding of where we are right now. Because you might think you are a certain place, but a lot of times when our alignment is off, we don't really know it until it really causes a problem. And so on page 30, let me see here. I think you might be able to go back. Go back to page 31. I want you to draw out this circle. And I want you to title it The Wheel of Life. And I believe this exercise is going to help everybody in this room to really figure out where you currently are right now in your journey called life. And these are the 10 areas, and I want you to write these down. These are the 10 areas that I want everybody in the room to analyze. Your business. Well, you can write them down. I don't even have to say them, but you see them on the screen. Business, Family and friends, your relationship with your family and friends, your marriage if you're married, or your significant other, your health and appearance, your spiritual life, your financial life, your emotional, your fun, your recreational, your personal growth, and your home and work environment. When I saw this exercise, it really hit me because the person that shared it with me, one of my mentors, he said, Justin, I want you to fill in each one of these areas of the circle, and you can kind of draw it the same way. I think there's, was that 1, 2, 3, 4 rings, right? Again, you guys get the point, okay? There's like 10 areas. I'm drawing it all silly. But you don't even have to do it on the circle, but it's the exercise of the point that matters. And you don't even have to do it now. You can do it sometime this week. I want you to grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in every one of these areas. And I want you to be as real as you can be with you. I don't care where you think you might be or you hope to be. I want you to really do a one-on-one with yourself and get to your core. Where am I in these different areas of my life? And really ask yourself, what do I need to work on? What are the areas that I need to work on to become my better self? Right? To be able to live, my best self, my better self. Because we can't get to our unreal life if these areas are out of whack. And as you can see down in the right-hand corner, and I'm not the type of person that thinks we can get to perfect balance in our life where everything is perfect and everything's flowing. But if you see that down in the corner, that wheel, can you imagine that rolling down the street? That's going to be way out of alignment, and there's going to be a lot of problems with that. One of the things that I struggled with in marriage for many years, and I didn't understand it until I understood it, was I'm like, man, why are me and Joy always like bumping heads, and why is this and this friction, this, that, and the other? It's because she felt less important than my business. Even though I was doing it for her, even though I was doing it for my kids, she's like, I don't feel more important than what you're doing. Same thing when Tiara told me. She said, I'm like, but I'm doing all this for you. And you know what? Your kids really don't care how much money you have in the bank. They don't care if you're top producer of the month. They don't care, about the things that we work and strive for. You know what they care about? Are you present? Are you at their games? Are you the one pouring into them? Because if you're not, somebody else will. And we see everything that's going on in the world today. We're either going to raise our kids or the world's going to raise our kids. And we only have this very short window of time to be able to do that. And so I want you to do this exercise sometime this week and really ask yourself, what do I need to work on in my life? Do I need to work on my marriage? Do I need to work on my relationship with my kids? Do I need to get more healthy? And these are all areas I have not perfected. And I'm working on these things as much as I can, but I realized my business was like a 9. Health, 3. Marriage, 7. But when I saw this, guess what? I carry this with me every day, and I'm actually creating a plan in my daily plan is, what am I doing in each one of these areas every day to get better? What am I doing to create, and have more fun and recreation, to be able to be more healthy, to be able to build my career in business, to be able to be more spiritual, have a better marriage and all of these things? Because what did I say earlier? We only give one life to live, but if we live it right, once is enough. These are things that are so important, and they go right along with this unreal formula in becoming our better or best self. And so write this down, okay? What do you need to work on? For me, it was I need to be more present. I want to be a better husband to my wife. I want to be a better dad to my kids. I want to be more healthy. I want to get my finances in a lot better order. I want to begin investing. I want to be a better friend. I want to be a better son. I want to be a better leader for my agents. What does your better or best self look like? And what do you need to begin working on in order to do that? How many of you guys have ever had a car out of alignment, right? Out of alignment, when a vehicle's wheels are out of alignment, it means that one or more wheels are pointing in a direction other than straight. Poor car alignment can cause a number of issues, including sudden impacts, accidents, and suspension. What I realized was my life was out of alignment of what really mattered. And I didn't realize it, but there were some things happening around me in my health, in my relationship with my daughter, and other things in my life that things were starting to show up. I was hitting potholes. I was driving over curbs. Maybe getting into some accidents. My suspension was getting wore out and loose. But I was so focused on getting where I needed to go that I wasn't really stopping to take care of the alignment. Over time, wear and tear can cause a car to go out of alignment. Steering can be difficult and the steering wheel may shake. Maybe some of us are experiencing that in our lives right now. Tires may wear unevenly, look rough or torn, and have poor tread, which can affect stopping ability, especially in bad weather. Because I've been so busy, I didn't realize that my wife's tires were completely worn to where she almost got in an accident. I didn't even realize it. That's my responsibility as a husband to make sure my family is safe. I didn't realize it. Because sometimes when we're so busy and we're pursuing the thing that we think we want, we miss what it is that we really need to be doing. Fuel economy. The engine may have to work harder using more energy and reducing fuel efficiency. Handling and braking can be compromised and the car can drift or pull to one side, especially when applying the brakes. Safety. Poor alignment can increase the risk of an accident. So if all of those things can happen when a car's out of alignment, how much more is it important for us to be in alignment in our lives? And maybe there's some people that are here today and you just completely feel out of line. You know there's some things in your life that you need to get in order. And maybe you came here to get your business in order, but maybe after what I'm sharing with you, realize that there's some other things that you got to get in order. And not that you need it from me, but I give you permission to work on those things before it's too late. Before it's too late. We don't want to get diagnosed with something because we didn't take care of ourselves along the way. Because with that wheel of life, when that's out of order, let's just say you step into your unreal life, but you get diagnosed with something, or your spouse leaves you, or your kids are rebelling, or you lose everything. Can't really enjoy your unreal life if your life is out of balance. So how do we get realigned? And Jeff, because you told me I had 55 minutes and I got out here and it said 48, I get 7 more minutes, okay? I want to finish strong. Let me tell you a story. Sorry guys, I'm a crier. With my son and my daughter leaving, I've decided to spend a lot of time this summer with them. I've only worked 1 week this month, and that'll be the only week that I work this month because I'm here this week and we're on family vacation next week. But when I knew that I was out of line, I made a decision that I'm going to get realigned before it's too late. So I heard about this ranch out in California called the JH Ranch in Northern California. Never heard of it. It's been there 45 years. And it's a dad and child ranch. Child has to be 13 years old or more. Dads can take their daughters. Dads can take their sons. Moms can take their sons or daughters. And they don't tell you what's going to happen during that week. You just show up and they say, come with no expectations. So I show up at this ranch because 2 things. I want to grow closer to the Lord because that's important to me, and I want to grow closer to my daughter. And I realize that if I don't do it now with my daughter, she leaves in a month and it's pretty much over. Meaning as a child in my house. And so I invested a significant amount of money to spend this week with my daughter in the Northern California mountains with no phone, no technology, a completely distraction-free environment. And I made the decision that I was going to repair anything that was out of alignment with my daughter before she goes into the real world.
Are you just getting B-roll for him right now?
We had the most amazing week together. It was the best week of my life.
Yeah, I'm going to be kind of covering.
We made amends with things. I apologized where I wasn't present.
Yeah.
And when I went there, I was part of me was like depressed and discouraged because I felt like it was over. And I woke up the next morning and God told me, Justin, it's not over. It's just beginning. It's just beginning. And I spent this week with Tiara, who is the most amazing girl a dad could ever want. And by the end of that week, the things that we went into that week with were completely healed. She opened up to me. I shared some things with her. And we left that place saying, you know what? We're going to build a relationship moving forward. No matter what happened in the past, we're going to move forward. And I made that investment to get realigned because I realized I was out of line. And you know how sometimes we don't even realize we're out of line is because we're so distracted with everything in life. Go get away for a week with no cell phone and no computer and no business, and you'll know what's going on in your life. You'll be able to look at where you're out of line and make a decision to get realigned. It was worth every dollar I invested in the time there. This is the power of choosing to be realigned. This is a letter Tiara wrote me while we were at the ranch. She just gave it to me yesterday before I came. She says, Dear Dad, what a profound moment it is to sit here and write you this letter. It's truly the beginning of our relationship. It's hard not to think about the past couple of years and not regret the closeness that we've missed out on, but I'm confident that in the years to come, we will not let the time go by and live in regret. Dad, thank you for committing to our family and never giving up when you've been hurting and when you felt like it was too hard to lead our family. Thank you for committing to a life free from addiction and divorce. Thank you for showing me that thank you for showing me what a hardworking man and determined husband looks like. You've set the bar pretty high. Thank you for showing me what courage looks like and for stepping up to challenges and confidence. You've truly inspired me in the way that you speak so confidently. And I have to, in the way that you speak so confidently, and I hope to impact a room full of people the way you do. Dad, please forgive me for the many ways I've hurt you. I'm sorry for hardening my heart towards you and viewing you as some kind of enemy instead of my friend. I'm sorry for lacking an appreciation for you and for the distance I've caused in our relationship. Thank you for providing and loving me despite hurting you. I'm praying that the Lord would continue to heal the hurt in our hearts and mend our relationship completely. I never want to hold judgment and hatred against you. I love you and I forgive you. Please forgive me too. Thank you for sacrificing and investing into this transformational week. You are valued and you are loved and you're a son of the King. Yeah. Alignment is so important. Because when we do all of those things, guess what we get to? Our unreal life. Our unreal life. And when we get to our unreal life, a life that's so amazing, it's almost unbelievable. But I want to challenge you with this. What you think your unreal life is might not be what your kids think their unreal life is. You might be pursuing something that is causing you to be out of alignment. You might be pursuing an unreal life that you think is your unreal life, but that might not be the unreal life that your spouse wants. I encourage you to get with your spouse if you're married and get with your kids and say, what does our unreal life look like? So that you don't get to a point where it's too late to find out that you're out of alignment. There's one last thing that I want to leave you with. Because some of you might already be living in your most unreal life right now. But an unreal life is going to come to an end at some point. we're all going to die, and it's going to be over. But I want to talk to you about legacy for a moment, because legacy refers to the impact and the way that you will be remembered for generations to come. Leaving a legacy means that you will continue making a contribution in future years, helping generations implement the beautiful life lessons that you gained. When a person dies, the mark the individual left on the world represents that individual's legacy. When a person's legacy can involve money, the concept of legacy is much larger than the value of an individual estate. A lot of times we think legacy is what we leave from a financial standpoint. It's more than that. It's about the richness of the individual's life, including what that person accomplished and the impact he or she had on people and places. Ultimately, the story of a person's life reflects the individual's legacy. I want to encourage everyone, as we're building and heading towards our most unreal life, that we're thinking about even beyond our life. Because we can't leave our unreal life behind, but guess what we can leave behind? A legacy. And this is where I've been in my walk and in my journey, as I'm thinking way beyond me and my kid, like me in my life, and I'm thinking about my kids, and now I have grandkids. What am I doing to set up the next generation and the generations to come to have it better than I did? That's legacy. So when you don't feel like it out there, and you want to give up, and you want to throw in the towel, and you don't want to role play, you don't want to write scripts, you don't want to do the hard stuff, I want you to think about that it's more than just selling homes. It's more than just making money. What we do every day is leading us to our better self, our unreal life, and one day, because we never know when our clock's going to stop, it can stop for any one of us today. What are you leaving behind? Because guess what? We're all going to leave something behind. Every one of us are going to leave something behind to those that we love and love us. And it's either going to be this: a legacy of blessing or a legacy of brokenness. And unless we choose to work on the broken, misaligned things in our life, we're going to leave that behind. And our kids are going to feel it, our grandkids are going to feel it, or we can choose today to work on the things to where when it's time for us to go, and I had a great conversation yesterday in the lobby with Brent, that we can leave a legacy behind. And the good news is we can start today. Last thing that I'm going to leave you. Every one of you guys should have a rubber band on your desk. You might have tossed it away, like, why is this rubber band on my desk? Or why is it on my chair? I want you to grab it real quick. Okay? And I got one on my wrist, okay? Our awesome team here at Glover U put this rubber band on your desk. And if you don't have one, go to the Glover U booth and get one, because I want everybody to have one. Because I want everyone to make a decision right now that you're going all in. You're going all in on your business. You're going all in on your better self. You're going all in for your kids, your spouse, your health, those 10 areas that I showed you, that enough's enough. I'm not living below my potential anymore. I'm going all in. And like Jeff said, this week we're going to be stretched. I want you to put this on your wrist right now. And every time that you look at this rubber band on your wrist, I want you to remember, I want you to ask yourself these two questions. Am I all in? And is my life aligned? And if it's not, which sometimes it's not, we choose to get realigned. This rubber band, when stretched to its full potential, symbolizes the resilience and flexibility required to align our actions with our dreams, reminding us that only by pushing our limits, staying true to our core, and deciding to live an all-in life, can we live our unreal life and create a legacy. It's the only way. We have to make a decision today that we're all in. I want you to go all in this week. I want you to go all in on every opportunity that you have to go all in on you. Because when you go all in on you, guess what? You're going all in on the things that matter to you, your family, your marriage, all of those things. And in closing, I heard this quote the other day, and I think it fits perfect. We get depressed because we can see what we are not and what we have not. We can see the gap between who we long to be and how we long to live in this moment. And if we don't have vision, we can get flooded with despair. And that's why we need to get ourselves in a room where we are surrounded by possibilities, and dreams. The good news is we're in that room right now. Choose to go all in this week, and I promise you, you won't be disappointed. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.